Hello, my name is Ralf Pirzl. I have been involved in business and politics for many years, and today I want to address a question that many people are asking. Why does Iran think it is winning against the United States? Because from the outside, that sounds impossible. The United States is the strongest military power in the world. Iran is not. So how can Iran believe it is winning? The answer is simple. They are not fighting the same war. To understand this, you need to understand one thing. War is not only about who destroys more targets. War is about objectives, and both sides have very different objectives. Let's start with Iran. Iran does not need to defeat the United States. That is not the goal. Their goal is much simpler. Survive, stay in power, maintain influence. That's it. If Iran survives the conflict, they can claim victory because the United States did not remove them. And in their narrative, that means success. But there is something even deeper. For Iran, this is not just a military conflict. It is a political survival game, a system trying to protect itself, a leadership trying to remain in control. And in that context, survival becomes the ultimate objective. Now let's look at the second factor. Cost. Iran knows it cannot win a direct military confrontation, so it plays a different game. It tries to make the war expensive, very expensive, not just for the United States, but for the entire world. Because when the cost rises, pressure rises. And when pressure rises, political decisions start to change. One of the most important tools Iran has is geography. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical energy route. A large part of the world's oil passes through this area. If Iran disrupts this route, energy prices go up, markets react, global economies feel the pressure, companies suffer, consumers suffer, governments feel the pressure, and suddenly this is no longer just a regional conflict, it becomes a global problem. This creates pressure on governments, especially in Europe and Asia, and that pressure can eventually reach Washington, because global instability always comes back to political decision makers. Now we move to the third factor, strategy. Iran does not fight like the United States. It uses asymmetric warfare. That means indirect actions, proxy groups, regional influence, cyber operations, targeting weak points instead of strong ones. Instead of facing the US directly, Iran spreads the conflict. This makes it harder to control, harder to predict, and more expensive to manage it. This is not about winning battles. It is about stretching the conflict, making it long, making it costly, making it uncomfortable for everyone involved. Now let's talk about time. Time is a weapon, and Iran believes time is on its side. Why? Because large powers often struggle in long conflicts. We have seen this before. In different regions, in different wars, strong nations enter quickly, but staying becomes difficult. Political pressure increases, public opinion changes, economic costs rise, and over time, support can weaken. Iran understands this. So instead of ending the conflict quickly, it extends it. It slows everything down. It avoids decisive confrontation. And it waits. Now we come to perception, because perception is everything. Inside Iran, the message is controlled. The narrative is clear. We are resisting. We are standing strong. We are not defeated. And if the regime is still in place, that message becomes believable, even if the reality is more complex. Because in politics, perception often matters more than facts. If people believe you are strong, you are strong. If people believe you are winning, at least in the short term. And finally, we need to look at the United States, because part of Iran's perception depends on the US strategy. If the objectives of the United States are unclear, that creates an advantage for Iran. If there is no clear endgame, Iran can continue its strategy, survive, stretch the conflict, increase the cost, and wait, because uncertainty benefits the weaker side. Clarity benefits the stronger side. So what are we really seeing? Are we seeing a military victory? No. Are we seeing a strategic game? Yes. Iran may not be stronger, but it is playing a different game. A game where survival is victory, a game where cost is a weapon, a game where time becomes an advantage, and a game where perception shapes reality. And in that game, winning looks very different. This does not mean Iran is actually winning, but it explains why they believe they are. And in geopolitics, belief can influence behavior. Behavior can influence outcomes, and outcomes can shape the future. If you want to understand global conflicts without noise, subscribe to Nexopol. And tell me in the comments, can a weaker country really win against a stronger one by changing the rules of the game?